So yesterday we have completed that fragment related, right? So now today we'll concentrate on next step, like that. For example, now I want to save data in my local. So how to save data in my local means, as of now, whatever the data we access to there and there, or we send to backend, that is a server side, we send that data, right? But now I don't want to send the data to server side. Just I want to save some data my locally, like how we are saving contacts in our local, right? Like that I want to save. So to do that, here we will use one concept called Sqlite. So there is a SQL modified version for this mobile application, like where low memory devices will work on this. So that we have to do here. So for that, here now I'm creating one new project. So that new project, so the new project name, this is MTV's activity. So here I'm giving the name as Sqlite. So Sqlite. So I'm giving the Sqlite. So that I'm giving here. So by using this library, normally we will save the data here on our local. So that how we will save. So that we will see here now. So this is the project here. Like we will take some, for example, we'll take name, mobile number, email ID, like 3 to 4 fields we can take, and we'll do all CUD operations on this. CUD operations means like add, update, delete, all the things we can able to do in this. That we will discuss here in this. Right. So that how it will work. So that we will see here. So I'm searching here SQLite. Right. So in this now, first we will design the UI. So I'll take here this. I'm adding this layout. And here I'm adding this. That is the linear layout. So here this text will change as SQLite example. So some margin 10 dp, right? So gravity center. So orientation vertical. Right. So some other edit text we will take, match parent, wrap content, ID. So that is the name. So hint, name, margin 10 dp. Right. So like this, I need name, mobile, email, address. Like 4 I'm taking here. Name, here it is the mobile, here it is the email, here it is the address. So I take the 4. Now here we need one button to save this data. So button, match parent, wrap content, ID. So that is the save, right? So text for the button, save, margin 10 dp. Have given like this, right? Now here in a dependency, here I'll add data binding enable equal to true. Right, let us sync this. So within this now here we'll add, still this it is in a regular process we are adding here. So that is the activity main binding equal to null. Here I'll add that binding equal to data binding data binding util dot set content view. So this, so this is simple. Now binding dot. So once we click on that button, we have to save this data, right? So for that now save dot set on click listener where name equal to binding dot name dot text dot so to string. So here just now I want to save that like this. I want to save this data. So similar here. Now we'll take other. So name, second one is the email, mobile. So next is the address. So that is email, mobile, address. Done like this. I have it. Right. Now, so this data is okay, but now this data we want to save into the SQLite database. So to save this data into SQLite database, we need some extra class to add this data. So for that, now here I'm creating like where DB helper. So I'm creating one class called DB helper equal to, so DB helper. So with reference of this context, I'm creating this, right? Now from here, we have to create one class. So DB helper class, separate class, I'm creating this. So all the operations, all the code operations we will do within this. But this, instead of this main activity, I'm making this as a general context so that this can be work from any class. User will come from any class, this will work. So that I'm adding here this context. Done. So context, I'm adding this. Now, once this is the context here, this will be extended as SQL open helper. So this is with reference of the context, comma. So here we have to give that DB name. So I'm giving something DB name called DB underscore name, comma, null. So means that version, it will be null and cursor factory. So that is the DB underscore version. So I'm giving the version as well, like I have given the 4 parameters here, right? Now, once we extend this has here, it has some family members. So we have to implement that. So there is a two, one is the on create and other is the on upgrade. So there are two methods, right? Now, to do this here, first we have to create some default values like using one companion object. All the parameters which we are using, like whatever the constant values here we are using, for that I'll create like DB name, table, database name, table name. So those I have to create here like private constant val, private constant val. So that is the DB hyphen version. So that I'll give as a one. So next private constant val. So that is the DB underscore name. So that equal to here something I'll give that is a user. We are saving the user details, right? So I'm giving that as a user DB. The next private constant val. So that is the so table underscore users. So table underscore users equal to, so that is the user details. So user details. So the next private constraint val. So that is the key underscore ID. So we are getting the ID for this. So that we are saving in ID. right? Like ID, name, like we added 3 to 4 parameters, right? Those 4 parameters here we will add. So first one is the ID, second one is the name, right? So I'm adding the name. Next one is the email, right? Next one is the password. Password may not given. Mobile number, mobile, and one more is required, right? So one more, that is the address. So here it is the edit address. So address. So this we have to give here. So this I'll change as address, address, mobile, email, name. So this I added here like this, right? So once all the data is available, now first of all we used to create a table. So we have to create a table and we have to add this. So in this now, how can I add this here? Now simple way we will add this table here. So to add this table, well, so here now I want to create table. So create underscore table. So I'm creating here table. So I'm writing now the query. So to create a table, I'm writing the query. So that is create table space. So the table name, we already defined the table users, right? That is we are creating here. So table users plus. So here now we have to create within this here we have to create. So what we have to create here? Table. So that is the plus. So first one key ID. So first we have to create the ID for this. So the ID which is here now. So that is an integer. So integer primary key. So that is the auto increment. So auto increment, comma. So then next plus. So like this, we have to add all the other keys. So next is the name, key name. So plus that is in the form of text, right? Then plus. So key name, key mobile. So this is the key name is done, key ID is done, key email. Next key mobile, key address. So all are the text format only, right? Now, the once this is created here, so here plus, so here to close like this. This is the closing from here to here. This done. Then now db dot execute SQL. So here whatever we created that create table, right? So create table here we have to call that. So create table. Now the table will be created here. Whatever the name we assign, with that name, the table will be created here. This right. Then here within this, now in case the db.x means the table already there, means maybe we have to do some upgrade. So if we want to do upgrade, first we have to drop the table. So drop table if exist, drop table if exist, plus table users, right? So we have to drop the table. Then after drop the table, simple we have to call that onCreate method, so that automatically the DB will be execute that. So this database will be called here. This done. So now the two default methods which we called, we created the table, and in case if table exists, we have to add something that we have. Now I want to insert the data. If I want to insert the data here, so function, so that is insert user details, insert user details. So here now I want to insert user details. So that is the name colon string comma, so name comma email, so that is also string comma mobile, so that is also string. So these are the details. Here we are saving that auto increment ID, we are not saving that, automatically it will save that. So finally address, so address, so that is also in the form of string. So this we have to add here, this, right? Now this is done. So within this, now if I want to save this, I need a writable database equal to, so here this dot writable database. So we need here writable database. So we require the writable database. So then here now we have to save the data. So that is the var content values. With reference of the content values, we have to save the data here. So that content values, so content values equal to content values here. Now content values dot put, so first one is the key name, so that is name. From here this is the name, see it will become active. Like this we have to add for the other all the methods. So name, this is the key, email, so this is the key, mobile, this is the key, address. So here it will be address, here it is the mobile, here it is the email. So all the data I added here. So now we are adding this where new row ID. So we are creating here new row ID. So that new row ID equal to db dot insert, db dot insert. So that is the table users comma. So column name condition is null. So whatever this value, content values. So this is the data we are. Once this transaction is done, we have to close the data, db dot close. So we have to close this, right? So this is the insertion has completed here. This now once insertion is done, we have to get the user. So for that I have to create one more method. So that is the fun get user. So I want to get the users. So get users means I want to get the complete user list. So that user list will get in the form of array list. So for that now I'm creating as a array list here. So array list, within array list multiple values will come, right? So that's why I'm using the hash map. So hash map here, it is the string. So in the form of this we are getting the data here, string. So val db equal to, so here also this dot writable database. So here now I'm creating one user list. So val user list, we are getting the user list, right? We have to supposed to get user list. For that means we cannot get at a time all the data, we'll get one by one. So that's the reason again I'm creating one user list. So for the user list, again I'm creating here hash map. So hash map, hash map. So within this hash map, now again it will be string comma string, means whatever the data will come directly, that we will assign one by one into the string, this comma string. Now I'm doing the query. So that query, while query equal to db dot raw query. So we are doing one raw query here. So that is the raw query. So the raw query, that is, so, oh, sorry. First of all, in this query, we have to do something else. So that is the select. We have to select the table, which table we are getting the data. So that we have to add here. So that is the select. So name, email, and mobile, then address. So this we have to get from that, right? From, so from which table? So that we have to add from table users. So from this we have to get this data. So now here I want to write this data will come one by one. So for that, now I'm using the cursor. So for that cursor, tp dot, here I'm doing one raw query. So that raw query here with help of the above whatever we written, that we have to do here, that query I'm passing into this, and I'm not adding any conditions. I need all the data. Whenever you required some specific data, here we have to add the condition. So, but here now I don't want that. So that's, oh, sorry, here also this data we have to get in this. So that required here. Now, so while I'm writing the while, because the data will come step by step, right? So while cursor dot move to the next. So it will start and it will move to the next one by one. It will move, so that it will. So for that here, val user equal to again hash map, hash map. So this string comma string. So within a string here, we are getting this data, right? Val user, whatever the data is coming, so that we will assign to this user. So now based on this user, we have to get the data user of here, the first one, which is the name, right? Name equal to cursor dot, so get string, cursor dot get string. So that is cursor dot get column index. So get column index. So that is key name. From the name, we are getting this data. Like this, we have to write for the other data. So total, we need other three, right? So that is the name, email, next mobile, next address. So 4 parameters. So this is from email, this is from mobile, this is from address. So like 4 parameters we are getting here, right? Then here now user list, above we created one user list, right? User list dot add whatever the data is coming from this particular hash map, we are adding into this. So means one by one this user will assign to this. So finally it will return as the user list, complete user list. It will return all the data which is there in a database. So it will return that data here. So for this, it required one suppress animation so that it will clear, right? It is done. So now we inserted the data and we updated the data. But now I want delete the data or I want update the data. First we'll write for the delete. So fun. So that is delete user. So I want to delete the user. So that is delete the user with reference of the user ID, right? I want to id, that user id, so that is in the form of integer, right? So that id, auto generated id, is integer. So here also, like, we need this dot writable database, this dot writable database. Then here now db dot delete, so direct delete, so that is from the table users, comma, key id with reference of the key id, so that is plus, so plus within equal to question mark means the dynamic value will come, whatever the value will send from there, that dynamic value will come, so that is array of, so that is array of within array, so that is a user id dot to string, so that user id is string, it will come here this. So then db dot close, you have to close the data. So then I have to update the data, like four operations. So then that is update user details. I want to update the user details here. So if update the user details, so name colon name, this is the string, right? String means here this we can copy from here also. This four we are updating here, right? So the same thing I paste here, string. Then this is, but here we are doing this updation because here unique id will be the id, so with reference of the id, so we are doing that with reference of the id, so that's the reason within a this we have to add that id also, id, so that is the in the form of integer, so colon, so that is int, right, with reference of the int value, so we are updating that data. So then here now update user details, that is perfectly fine. So now even here also we need this, also we need this content values, so this also we read here, means we, whenever we are updating the data, we need that also here, right? So content values that put name, mobile number, email address, so this will be okay. So now within this here we have to write return, so that is the db dot update, so table users, comma, this above content values, comma, so that is with reference of the key id, right? So with reference of the key id means key id equal, key id space equal to question mark, so with reference of this we are adding comma, like similar as above, array of id dot to string, so id dot to string, id dot to string. So this is the way we have to update here. But what is the issue here in this? id dot to string, it will be okay. This data, so okay, this is not where, this is the function. Yeah, that's why it is coming error, right? Now this kind of operations here we will do. Now what we have to do within a this. So this side within a this now DB helper. So once we click this data, right, we have to save the data. So if I want to save the data here now, so here simply we have to add. So DB helper dot. So insert data. So what we have to insert here? Name, email, mobile, address. So these all are the data we have to add. So toast here we have to add the toast. So toast that make text. This at the rate main activity. So saved. Then toast dot length long. Finally dot show. So that is done. Right. So once this data has saved here, now I want to display that data within the next class. So for that here now I'm adding that var intent equal to, I want to create one more class. So within that class we'll get this data. So for that here this at the rate main activity. So I'll write detail activity. So within that we have to get that data colon class dot shower. So then start activity of intent done. So now with this reference with this we have to create here class. So means class means activity. I'm creating one activity here. So that is empty with activity. So I have created the detail activity. So here now var binding colon. So this binding will be generated on the name of activity. So details binding activity details binding equal to null. Right here binding equal to data binding util dot set content view. So here we will write this. Right. So whatever the data is coming, so that data we want to access within this class. So for that now here one XML is created, right? So first of all within this now we will add the data binding. So that is the layout. So I'll created the layout here. So here now I'll create here linear layout, orientation, vertical. So within this now I'll take one list view. So whatever the data is coming, so that we will display within a list. So for that ID, so that is the list. Right. So just I have created the list that we have added here. This right. Now within this now we'll import this binding, this data binding util, both we can import. Right now here now we have to add other details like here now we have to call that var db helper equal to, so that is the db helper this at the rate, so this at the rate detail activity. So var user list, so user list we want user list, right? So that is from db helper dot get users. So from here we will get all the data, right? Now where I'm creating one adapter, so that is the adapter colon, so that is the android dot, so widget dot, so list adapter. So I'm assigning this to list adapter. So how that is by using the simple adapter of this at the rate context. So context comma So this where we are assigning that user list. So that user list here we are assigning. So here we required one layout to get the data. So where custom means what data we have to add, that custom we added here. Then so first we'll create that custom XML. So we'll come and we'll discuss next step here. So layout resource file. So I've created the layout resource file. So that layout resource file will be custom will be created here. Right now this custom file we have to create with so linear layout. So orientation vertical. This is the wrap content. So here now how many text that we have to create here? Like here I'll create a text view. Like we have 4 text views, right? Text view, match parent, wrap content, ID, that is a name. Then margin 10 dp. So like that. So total. So this is the email. This is the mobile. This is the address. So I have created multiple these things. So within a this now, not here, here we have to write. So custom we have created here. So for this custom now, like we have to map this array of, so we have to map the data. So first one is the name. Second is the email. So mobile, address. Like this I have to create this, right? Then so int array of that whatever we created now that we have to assign here. So that is the int array of, so here comma. So that is int array of r dot id dot name, r dot id dot email, r dot id dot, so that is the mobile, r dot id dot address. So this we have to add this, right? Then finally this we have to map binding dot. So binding dot list dot adapter equal to, so adapter, this adapter we have mapped. So this almost time is up. So we'll run in next class and we'll see this output, and then once again we'll go through what we added, why this required, that we'll add it in detail. That